Greetings from Los Angeles. This is Benjamin. I manage Samy's Cinema Works here at Samy's Camera in our Hollywood location, and I'm here with Graham Sheldon. We're honored to have Graham here today. He's an Emmy Award-winning director of photography and producer, and he has something very special with him today.
Good to be here, Benjamin. Yeah, this is the brand new Sigma FPL. So it's a member of the FP family. If it looks familiar, it's because it has the same exact body as the FP. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff to go into here.
Graham, I know you've done a lot of work with the original FP and you've had this new camera in your hands for a while. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience and the features of the camera?
Yeah, so the original FP is, a true hybrid camera in sort of the best sense of the word. So it's, 0.46 of a pound for the body with memory card, maybe one battery in there. And it's truly the camera that you mount everywhere. And that's important, right? Because as cameras got bigger and bigger and bigger over the years, it became harder to put them places. So I find myself just putting the original FP on drones, in corners of aircraft, in sketchy areas around stunt vehicles, near stunts themselves, near practical explosions, things where I don't want to be, but I know the camera is going to survive if I put it there.
Yeah, it's definitely an incredibly powerful camera, especially given its compact size. It looks like we've stuck to pretty much the same form factor on the camera body with this one.
Yeah, and I mean, that's been great to see because we've all been through the experience where you get another camera, you get whatever the next thing is, and you have to throw out all your accessories and start all over. And then there's maybe a little bit of a lag time for first party and third party accessories to show up. But I mean, Sigma did such a great job, in my opinion, out of the gate with the FP accessories. I mean, why fix what isn't broken? So it's been great to see all the accessories maintain the compatibility with the new FPL, and then even some new stuff coming out of the gate in the form of this electronic viewfinder right here.
We've been selling a few fewer traditional director's viewfinders since the FP has come out on the market. Can you talk about how we can kind of bring this to set and make it a versatile director's viewfinder?
Yeah, well, I mean, without knocking the historical device that is the director's viewfinder, they aren't also 12-bit internal RAW shooting cameras and stills cameras at the same time. Usually they're kind of very expensive mechanical devices that kind of do one thing and do that well. One of the things about the director's viewfinder mode on the original FP and then on the FPL, obviously a few enhancements here, is that, like its mechanical cousins, you can use the lenses that you're actually shooting your project with, which is key. And then you can plug in most brands, I should say at this point, most of the more common cinema brands you can plug in. You can set your frame lines. If it's one of the more common aspect ratio, that is of course supported in here with the button press, or you can set custom frame lines on the new FPL for you digital content creators out there that are delivering in all sorts of aspect ratios that I even can't think of.
Let's talk about the sensor in the camera. What's similar and what's changed about this camera over the original?
Yeah, I mean, so the biggest sort of banner headline with the sensor is a 61 megapixel Bayer sensor. I mean, actually here I can take off the 45 millimeter I series, and you can see it right there. Okay, so world's smallest mirrorless 61 megapixel sensor, right? So I mean, if you look at it, the camera is mostly sensor, and I'm okay with that, right? This means full frame in truly in your hand here for taking anywhere. It has dual base ISO like the FP added, and yeah, I mean, good low light performance, and you're still getting the same slow motion frame rates, things like that you had with the original FP. So you're still getting your 120 frames per second and things like that. So
let's talk about the the new sort of zoom function on the camera?
Yeah, so with the FPL, there's a new crop and zoom function, right? So having those 61 megapixels in the sensor, you can crop and zoom in camera without significant loss of detail and still have an image that's, okay to publish, okay to share. And I think that's part of, Sigma's methodology about kind of handling it in camera and then publishing. If you will. For professional users like myself, sometimes I don't want to do that. Sometimes I want to take a long time and grade that 12-bit raw cinema DNG file, but sometimes I just want to get it out there, get it out on the web. And I'm okay burning in one of the very cool color modes on the back, which actually I should talk about. There's two new color modes with the FPL, duotone and powder blue. And obviously all the color modes remain that you hopefully know and love from the original FPL.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the other accessories on the FPL. What do you have on the side of the camera?
Yeah, great question. So this was a comment that I saw all the time from users of the FP, and it seems like the engineers at Sigma saw the same comments. So this is an electronic viewfinder, really easy to use. You can go between LCD, EVF, it'll turn off the LCD on the back. And photographers obviously are gonna love an EVF, and cinematographers, I've been using a lot of external monitors, but for me, one of the surprises about this accessory is how I'm able to pull focus honestly in video through the EVF. The image that you're getting inside is absolutely sharp enough for pulling focus with video, and it sticks with the modularity of the camera. It just slides right onto the side there, and it doesn't cover up your HDMI port, which is super cool. You can just kind of thread the HDMI through there. So again, something a lot of people were asking for, and now you can shoot at noon on a bright day and not run into any issues.
Tell us about the autofocus system in the camera as well.
So as a cinematographer, I'm not using autofocus as much as, say, other image makers out there. But that being said, the FPL does have improved phase detect and contrast-based autofocus.
Great. For
video, for stills, and we did do some motion stills with it the other day, and it absolutely kept up to fast movement in an alleyway. So
cool.
Yeah, so improved autofocus with the FPL.
Awesome.
So Benjamin, another cool feature that I did want to mention about the FPL is the ability to share settings using a QR code. So it's really easy. You dive into the menu, it's just a couple buttons in, you bring up the QR code, another user of a FPL comes up, takes a photo of the QR code on the back of your camera, and they're able to then get the settings that you're shooting at. Just a great way to make sure we are truly matching cameras, we're truly shooting the same stuff, and it's just an innovative use of just QR technology as a whole.
I know you're doing some filming with the camera today here in our parking lot. Sounds kind of interesting. What are we doing today?
Yeah, so we're going to have Emma, the fire dancer, join us out front in the park. Just a normal day at Samys,
all right?
Yeah. And film a little bit with the FPL. We'll get to see some slow motion, some 24 frame stuff. It shoots true, quote unquote, 24 frames per second now, as well as the 2398 that you may know. And we're gonna just see how the camera performs.
Awesome. Let's go take a look.
Yeah, so we just filmed with Emma, incredibly talented fire dancer, and we put the FPL through its paces. I mean, there is, honestly, I would be hard pressed to think of a more tricky lighting setup on a sensor. I mean, being lit at times entirely by fire in combination with some of the lights that we have here in the Samys parking lot. So I highly recommend you come into Samys on Fairfax, speak to Benjamin on the 4th floor, actually try the FPL in your hands. That's the best way. You just gotta get hands-on with a new camera like the FPL. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Have a great day, guys.